I've been watching a lot of The Nanny. Can you tell? Welcome back to Dani's TV Guide. Today, we have a lot to get to, so let's just jump right into it. We're going through my recently watched list. Let's start with The Mind of a Killer on Hulu. I'm watching it on Hulu. I'm assuming it's a network show because it gives very network show. And if it is a network show, then it's probably ABC. It stars Patrick Dempsey. He plays a mob hitman that is starting to get Alzheimer's, but he has like a secret life of like being like a normal dad who sells, I think he sells like office supplies, or like that's his cover, is that he sells office supplies.
Well, there's a copier salesman. Well, what kind of work does that entail?
It features lines like,
"Are you making decisions about this case based on what's best for the investigation or it's best for Maria?"
Both.
it is the most network show that has networked in a very long time. But if you need to do a mindless task like putting in sock curls, that's what I typically am doing when I watch it. It's a good time. It's a good time. I do have some critiques though. He's supposed to be a professional killer, right? But he makes like the most basic forensic mistakes. How am I supposed to believe you've had a whole career in this and you literally are, I don't want to spoil too much, but he's a moron. And I get that, like, it's the disease. It's just, they're trying to do it for the plot. Like, they're just trying to move the plot along, and it's just, it's too much. It's too much. There's like a lot of CSI jargon where this like police officer is like, I found this thread. It's an expensive thread. And he's like,
I want you to keep working on these fibers. I need to know everything. Brand name, price point, where it's sold, everything.
how would you even, I don't think that's possible. I think that you could like make a list of like 100 things that could possibly use that thread, unless it's like a trademarked thread or like a specific animal from a specific, you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. This show is just ridiculous. He has a daughter, right? And she's beautiful and she's pregnant and she's the most perfect Madonna to ever protect that has ever been. And of course, can you guess that she used to hook up with the main cop in the story?
It makes sense that you're feeling scared. I'm just sorry that I couldn't keep her all behind bars for you.
Hey, good news.
So they have a whole chemistry, they have a whole vibe, and obviously you can probably gather that like the criminal that they're trying to get, or like not necessarily criminal, they're trying to catch her dad, Patrick Dempsey, because that's like the classic plot that all of these have. And also, like, speaking on that, let's discuss.
It moves very quickly because there's this phenomenon that's happening in shows because the seasons are so much shorter, and I feel like there's such a higher chance for them to get canceled that they're shoving in a lot of plot points that would happen in like season 5. If this show was long running, this plot would usually happen in season 5. And instead they're shoving it in like the first season. That happened with High Potential, where they had like a serial killer and it was giving like Psych. But Psych season 4, season 6, I don't remember how many seasons of Psych, but like later. And all of those seasons had 20 episodes. High Potential, which we're not talking about right now, but High Potential only had like 10 episodes or something. And so it made no sense to have that plot line and then immediately get rid of it in the beginning of season 2. Like, it was just dumb. And like, this has like the same energy as that, where it's like, it's not groundbreaking, it's fine, it's entertaining, it's a classic procedural.
If that's your vibe, no shame in the game, right? Like, I watched every single episode. So it's on Hulu, Mind of a Killer. Check it out or don't. I wouldn't judge you either way. Let's stick with Hulu. Paradise. Top Dani pick. What is it about? I don't even know how to begin to describe it. The reason why I clicked on it was because of Sterling K. Brown, and I feel like that should be enough for anybody to click on it. Apocalypse, underground bunker, mystery.
Your name is Xavier Collins, correct?
Yes.
You have 2 children, James and Presley.
Yes.
When did you last see Cal Bradford alive?
I walked the president to his room when he turned in at 22:04.
Real TV. I literally texted my friend after watching the first episode, because after the pilot, I literally was baffled, gagged, because I didn't know anything about the show before. I just clicked on it and was like, I've never really given Hulu originals a try, so I was gonna give it a try, and it's a good one to start with. It felt like a book. Like, I literally Googled and was like, was this a book first? And that's high praise. That's high praise. I was like, no way that they came up with this all by themselves. Guys, let's go. I'm a sucker for apocalypse shows. I thought it was going to be like a boring cop show, but it's not. It's so much more than that. I believe that this show is like sort of making an argument. Well, I think every show is making an argument, but I think one of the arguments that this show is making is that villains and heroes are not like inherent, they're created. And I think that we're all put in these situations, and it's the choices that we make in them with the resources that we have. And every character, you can kind of understand, like, why is this person more evil? Why is evil? And why is this person a little more heroic?
But you know when it won't seem far-fetched? In less than a decade, when a tsunami plunges the entire eastern seaboard of the United States underwater.
Full security detail, and he was murdered in the residence.
No, he wasn't. Cal Bradford died of natural causes, likely a heart attack.
You understand them, and there are twists and turns, which I really like, and a mystery and uprisings, and there's a lot of social commentary going on. Who is worth saving and who isn't, and who gets to decide that? Just people with money, which, I mean, I think that that's eternally relevant in conversations. Oh yeah, season 2 felt a little vignette heavy, and a little like they're trying to shove exposition down my throat, which was fine. Like, I ate it up. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed the meal. I watched it. I cried. But also I was kind of like, why did you do that to me? Like, that was so much. And the main character's name is Xavier, Sterling K. Brown. And at some point, like, I haven't finished season 2, to be honest, because I started getting like a little bit like, come on. I felt like he was just consistently every episode just having like the worst day of his life. And it comes to a point where like that sort of type of show, I'm like, all right, can anything else happen to this man? And then the show is like, yes, absolutely. This is like, it's so much. Like, he deserves, and he always plays this type of character. Like, I want to see him in White Lotus. I want to see him getting a massage. I want to see him chilling. Like, this always happens to Sterling. He's always in these shows where he's just pushed to his limits. The character is just pushed to his limits, and I just want him to rest. I just want the best for him. So I haven't watched the season finale because I feel like it's not going to go his way. It's a great show. It's really fun. And if you like apocalypse stories, I don't know what more you could want. Sterling K. Brown, an apocalypse. James Marsden is there too. Shailene Woodley, right? That's her name, right? Comes in season 2, and she does a fantastic job. Definitely recommend top Dani pick, Paradise on Hulu. On to Netflix. What have I been watching on Netflix? Age of Attraction. If you somehow missed out on seeing clips of this show, it's basically a reality dating show where couples couple up without knowing how big of the age gap is between them. So then it ends up being like 10 years, 15 years between these couples that then have to live together after they pair up and reveal each other's ages. I learned about myself. You put a beard on a man, I have no idea how old he is. And apparently some of these other girls also don't know how to age people as well. I feel like people want to talk about the meatiness of the show, the taboo, the intrigue. I'll get there. I want to talk about the production. The production was so weird and crazy. Every interview, every confessional, it's like some producer, some photographer learned the rule of thirds that day and decided no one will be center in frame. No one. Somebody's going to be over here. Somebody's going to be over here. No one is ever going to be in the center of the frame, ever. The hosts, I had never heard of them. I was watching it with my friends. Like, this is not a show to watch alone. I watched it in 2 sittings with a group of friends. My friend Chloe told me that the hosts were from a podcast, the Veil, something. They terrible. Not good. When they were on screen, it was simultaneously for too long, but also they were not there frequently enough to a point where as a viewer, you had to do a lot of work to figure out what was going on at any point. And I don't know if we somehow like missed the instructions of what was going on, but like the whole time me and my friends were like, wait, so like, are they getting engaged? Oh, no. They're moving into each other. They're moving in together. So it was weird. It was not right. They were not very good. And then it was edited so strangely because then they would come in the end and be like, how are you guys doing?
It's been amazing.
Good.
It's awesome to hear.
And the couples would talk for so long, but it's like, we just watched all of it. I don't need your recap. It was very bad. And then seeing from some of the cast's TikToks and whatnot, there's a lot of like little dates that they didn't include. So I'm very confused why they chose to include some of the most boring television around and then not include like Teresa and John go on a little baseball date. Like, I would rather see that. Let's talk about some of the cast of characters. Vanelle, the spoiler. This is big spoiler all around. Vanelle, she was in her early 20s and she ended up dating like a man in his 60s.
I'm 60.
And at first he was like, by the way, it was like, I am on a chastity vibe. I don't want to have sex with you. And he was like, cool, babe. I'm an old man. I'm a grown man. Like, no problem. And then later, like, apparently they do some like fooling around and he's a lawyer. So then he starts lawyer braining her and being like, I don't understand because you say that you don't want to have sex with me, but you're totally fine with oral sex. And it's like, my guy. She gets to define the bounds of her consent. If she doesn't want you to put P and V, then you're not putting P and V, and you will not be able to argue her out of it. That is not consent.
I'm not doing that until I get married. If I don't get married, then I'm never doing that. That is how I feel about that.
I'm happy for you.
So
what do you want me to do with that?
That is something I needed you to either know and be okay with or say, hey, like, that's not something I could do. And that's okay also.
Don't try to belittle her. It was so disgusting. He is so disgusting. And he's like, then I don't think that you can call it like abstinence. And it's like, if she wants to call it abstinence, then she can call it abstinence. You can call it whatever you want, but it's not your identity. It's not your thing. So leave my girl Vanelle alone. Get your grimy, grubby, nasty, hairy hands off of her. Let her be free. Who else? P5. That's what we Pfeiffer. Me and my friends, that's P5. P5, we love P5. She's chill. Libby, girl. Libby, what are you doing? So like Libby is like this 20-year-old girl. She's 22 and she's dating this guy in his like late 30s and he has like 2 kids. Like she's like, daughters, and she's closer in age to the daughters. And they like brought their friends in because they're messy. The show's messy. That was like the messiest thing that they did on the show. And the little boyfriends had a bet that she was going to have a young blonde girl because apparently that's his type.
How old is she? 22.
Baby.
By the way, I nailed it. Was that she was blonde and that she was 25 to 22 years old. Guy's consistent. You know, I'll just say that he's just very consistent.
And like, if I was on an age reality show and then I found out that like my boyfriend was just like into like young girls, I'd be like, yuck. The bugs in the finale, there were so many bugs. I cannot express this enough. There were so many bugs. It was so disgusting. I cannot believe that got past production. Yuck. I'm not usually really big on dating shows. This one was fun again. Watch with a group. Would I watch another season? If my friends wanted to watch another season? This is not my favorite. But got time to kill. These are time killers. Check it out. Age of Attraction on Netflix. Blue therapy. These couples, these very, very British couples, go to a little English manor to get couples counseling from this Mary Poppins-esque woman who has been practicing couples therapy for 20 years.
Bad habit.
Yeah.
Can you just be a bit more explicit about a bad habit?
It is so, if you are nosy, this is perfect for you. Getting all into these couples' business, their intimacy issues, their like self-confidence issues, their parenting issues. It's kind of a good time. I will warn you, all the men are like not great. Shocker. A lot of the men are terrible, but at least I will say, at least they're showing up to the therapy and like trying to engage. Some of them seems like they're trying to engage with their emotions for the first time ever, which I find very fascinating. I think that what this show really uncovered for me is like a lot of these men, their partners, their wives will be like, I just want him to be like emotionally connect with me. Like I want him to be there for me. This one woman, she had just had her baby. Okay.
The day after you give birth, you feel like you've been beaten up. And he thought popping out for a few hours to get a tattoo was acceptable. Even if I hated somebody, I wouldn't be brave enough to do that.
That is a stretch, man.
And he's like, to be what? In the room? Like nothing's going to happen. Like what? He could not understand what was so wrong with his behavior. And to me, I would be like, done. Like I am not gonna sit here and explain to you like why you should be with me and with your newborn child and not golfing. Like it's so beyond. And it really highlighted for me this idea of like these women are like, I want you to connect, I want you to be emotional, I want you to understand and be there for me. And they are very much hung up on, but that's not what a man does.
What area in your life do you feel alone?
It's a loaded question. Sometimes men, we don't speak about our emotions. Dami doesn't quite understand how I internalize things. She needs to cut me some slack every now and then.
And it's just like the patriarchy is so insidious. Because how can their partner be outlining something so clearly? I want you to be emotionally available. I want you to engage in this. They say, no, that's not what a man does. So who are you performing for? Are you performing for your boss, your male boss, your male coworkers, your father? Like, who is it for? It's like that idea, you know, that every woman is performing to a little man in her brain, even like when she's alone in her bedroom. And it's like, I guess I never thought that maybe is like happening to men at the same time, because why would you not, like, I just don't understand why you wouldn't engage. If your partner is asking you to engage, why can't you do it? And you're just like, that's not what a man does. And everybody's like, that's stupid. I don't get it. I don't get it. So I guess that was like a good test in me and my empathy and being like, I don't understand. So that was like a fun little tie. And also something that the show like talked about a lot is like intimacy issues. Like this one woman, she was like, he just like wants sex on demand. And I'm like, you have to open up shop. Like you have to like turn on the lights, open up the shutters. And he's like, no, I want it now. And the therapist jumps in and is like, that's not intimacy. You don't just get to have it whenever you want. And it made me think about Michaela on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because she's a lot stronger than me. If you guys are not up on the lore, she's a woman on this reality show and she's having issues with her husband because like she doesn't want to have sex and like intimacy is really important to him.
I think it would be better, you know, for our kids though, for us to work it out.
I definitely want my kids to see their parents with having a good intimate connection.
Yeah, emotional connection.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
And like to a point where like he's thought about divorce because like she can't have sex with him. And to me, like if my partner were to say that to me, I don't think I could ever get over it. You know what I mean? Because it's like they put you into this box of like, this is like the most important thing that you could give to me. this is my end all be all. And it's like, what if I got in a horrible accident and I couldn't have sex anymore? What if, like, Michaela, I have this like mental blockage and I can't have sex with you anymore? Does that matter? Like, that matters so much that everything else is thrown out the door. Like, that would devastate me. And I was like watching these women and I was like, oh my God. But I'm glad they're getting therapy. I'm glad they're trying to work it out. And it seems like a lot of them did kind of like engage. And I really liked the therapist. I'm no expert, but she seemed really great. I really liked her. It was a fun show. If you're nosy, I recommend it. Last but not least, this is like horror-esque, and I'm a scaredy cat, so I get scared very easily. So in the first few episodes was very scared. If you are somebody who watches a lot of horror, I don't think that you'll be that scared, to be honest. But I get scared very easily, so I was scared. TBH, I was scared. This show, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. I started with
not liking it, then I liked it, then I didn't like it, then I liked it again, then I didn't like it, then I ended on liking it.
I have a lot of emotions. I have a lot of feelings. Let's dig into it. I've got to consult my notes. Oh my God, I didn't even tell you guys what it was about. It's about this woman who is about to get married, and she is meeting her fiance's family for the first time, and she has a feeling something very bad is going to happen. Okay. I felt in the first few episodes, there was a lot of build up to nothing, a lot of jump scare suspension to nothing. And it kind of made me mistrust these characters that I was then asked to later trust.
Oh my God, she exists. There's no such thing as interrupting. Come here, we're family. Oh, it's your wedding.
And that felt kind of weird because then I didn't know where I stood with them. And I guess in a way that did reflect how the main character may have been feeling. But I felt that was kind of strange. I also felt like, God, like this needs some comedic relief, and then like stat. And then by like episode 4, I don't know if it started being intentionally funny or if I just started to think it was really funny. And that's when I started coming back around, because I started like being like, these characters are kind of fun. Like, I'm entertained. Like, this is silly, goofy. I'm having a good time.
You'll do it.
Yeah, why not?
You don't know what you're doing. You'll totally f*** it up.
How will I? Hussein?
No, I'll do it.
I personally would have changed the order of the episodes. There's like a flashback episode that I think I would have put a little earlier, because I did not care about any of the characters until I feel like too late into the show. Obviously, it didn't stop me from watching because I just really wanted to figure out what was going on. But I just would have reordered some of the episodes, because I felt like it would have helped the narrative a little bit more, because a lot of the show was like, what's going on, but not in a fun way. Sometimes it's in a fun way, but when the whole entire thing is what's going on, it's not that fun. And then when the reveal is just like, it's supernatural, I take issue with that. I take issue with that. I really don't like when that happens with shows where it's like, it's just supernatural. It's fine. I'll give it a pass. It's just not my favorite thing that happens. Overall, we'll move on from that point, but I don't love when shows are just, or movies are just like, it's supernatural. I think like the human experience of the human psyche is always a lot scarier than it's supernatural, in my opinion. I think that this show does a lot of exploration. It's kind of Stepford Wives-esque of like, how well do you really know your partner? And does your partner really like fully love you, fully know you, and fully trust you?
It does matter, Nikki. It does matter, because I finally thought that I met someone who felt the same things as me. But no, it turns out that you were just sad and single, and you saw a scared girl at the airport and said, oh, fun, an adventure. Well, I am not a fucking adventure for you to go on.
There's that arbitrary test that girls like to do, or like people like to do in general, where it's like, if I was a worm, would you still be my friend? If I was a worm, would you still be my boyfriend? And obviously, like, you want that person to say yes, but then the real test of time is like, at the end of the day, if I turn into a worm, will you still love me? And then they say yes, and then you turn into a worm. You know what I mean? And then that really is taking it to the test, like taking your vows to the test. Like, can you trust a man to love you in sickness and health, when like the big statistic is a lot of men leave their wives when they have a terminal illness? If I were to tell you that I was stuck in a time loop, would you actually believe me, or do you think that I'm crazy? Do you actually believe and trust my anxiety, or do you secretly resent me and think that I'm actually a difficulty to your life? I think that that's actually what this show is getting at. And like, obviously, like the horror stuff is just like the packaging that it's in. But I think that this show is very much questioning your partner. Like, are you really there? Or do you secretly hate me? And like in the Stepford Wives things, it's like, do you really love me? Or are you sitting here and actually like secretly plotting to turn me into an animatronic? Are you okay that dinner's a little cold? Or because I missed your ironing, am I going to be a robot tomorrow? I think that dynamic is at play. And like I said, at the end, I did end up liking it. And if there was another season, I'd probably watch it. I think it's a good show. It's fun overall. I think it's creative. But a lot of people are talking about this show. Will it change your life? I don't think so. But also, if it does, no shame in the game, right? No shame in the game. So that was a bit of a speed round, a Dani's TV Guide speed round, just what's been in my recently watched list. Always much more to come. I'm constantly on the hunt of new shows to watch. So please let me know what you guys are watching, what you recommend I should check out. Let me know if you've seen any of these shows or if you're going to see them, what you think about them. Would love to get y'all's perspective. A lot more in the pipeline. That's a promise. See you soon. Thread.